From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Morreale and Hitch.
All righty, let's go. Let's get this thing started. Hello, everybody. This is Mike Morreale. That's Rob Hitchcock. Dave Butko's in the basement somewhere in Hamilton, Ontario. And this is the Morreale and Hitch podcast 2022 version. For those that are looking on YouTube, yes, I am in a beautiful locale. Rob is at home. You look like you're at a funeral parlor with that. It looks like, what do you got? An urn behind you? And Butko's in his basement. Robbie, Happy New Year to you, buddy. I haven't seen you since when? Grey Cup.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen you. You've been the traveling Wilbury.
Hey, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble, buddy. I'm just trying to stay out of trouble.
Well, the new background is because my kids are online right now, up in their rooms. My wife's a teacher, as you know, and she is in my office. So I'm in the dining room, so it might sound a bit echoey. My dog's beside me, my stupid dog. And so, yeah, this is what I get.
Listen, huge news last night. Dane Evans back with the Cats. Let's just jump in and give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, you know what? I saw that news this morning, and it was really nice to hear that he's coming back. And could have easily probably went to any team he wanted to, but I'm sure Coach O had a big part of that. Being the new president of operations and head coach, I'm sure he had influenced him. But I think he's going to be a great. He's been great with the Cats for a couple of years, and he's just going to add even more depth to that already good depth chart.
Yeah, I think we've seen what he can do. Whether it's in a fill-in role or whether he started. He's a proven winner. He certainly plays with a chip on his shoulder, kind of guy that we would like to play with. And the flip side of that is we got to confront it is what happens to Jeremiah Masoli. I think this probably is, I think the Cats have probably laid claim to Dane Evans as the starter. Masoli now a free agent. He's going to get picked up somewhere. He may be picked up in the East. I mean, this is the dice you roll, right? You go with your one guy. What does that do for a guy like Jeremiah? But we should think. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but certainly Masoli as a Ticat was tremendous. They were a great 1-2 punch, but it looks like the Cats are leaning towards Evans and good on him. I think it's a great decision. Yeah.
Well, with the new GM from Hamilton that went to Ottawa, that could be a little bit. Who knows?
I think that might be happening. I happened to talk to Berkey not too long ago, I know he has his guy.
He's got it on his sleeves, under the sleeves.
Oh, yeah. He's got it up the sleeve. Hey, you're going to talk about this more in depth with Coach O and Deeker and Philly about Sudsy. I just want to pay a quick respect to Suds. We love him. I can't wait to listen to you guys talk more about the behind-the-scenes stuff. But, man, we've lost a couple good ones in Ronnie and now Sudsy. And I just want to pay my respects here and certainly look forward to listening to you guys kind of get into more detail about what Sudsy meant to you and just some of the fun stories, I'm sure, as well.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get, I heard about the news the other day, and, Deeker said it best in our chat. He said it's like losing a dad twice, to us, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I know he was our head coach for a couple of years, but I spent 5 years with him in the defensive coordinator room, and got to be really close with him, and we lost a great man, a friend, a mentor. He was behind the scenes. You look at Coach Sutherin as a smash mouth, hard nosed football coach and football player, because he was a hell of a player as well. But, behind the scenes, he was a soft, gentle giant. And we're going to talk a lot about him tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to do the Hitch show tomorrow. So that's going to be fun.
You got your own show?
Got my own show tomorrow.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just cutting out the Morreale. But
and Hitch.
Yeah, exactly. But so tomorrow's going to be a great show with Coach D, Dennis McPhee, as anyone knows him as Deeker. Joe Montford, Coach O is supposed to be on, and Mike Philbrick from the Caymans. So he's going to have a similar background that you have.
Absolutely. Except his is for real. He owns that background. I'm just renting this background for a little while.
Yeah,
he owns
true.
the one in the Caymans.
That's true. Yeah, he. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Southern family and his 4 daughters and wife and Mrs. Southern, and it was a tough couple of days for some of us going back and forth because he was like a second dad to me. So we'll talk in more depth tomorrow. So,
and there's some good stories too. Sudsy was between the bike shorts and the spot builts. I love the guy. I love him. He didn't coach me. I was an offensive player, but man, did he ever give me a ton of advice? And he was a straight shooter, an absolute straight shooter. And I loved every minute of that because you knew exactly where you stood with him. But he was a guy that, listen, I wrote a tweet the other day about, practicing against you guys made me a hell of a better receiver because it was not easy to go against that defense. And I had to go against Gerald Vaughn more often than not. And he used to coach me on how to beat GV because he knew GV's weaknesses, right? Yeah, so he'd say, this is how you beat him. And he goes, if you want to beat Hitch, just throw it like a math question. That'll make him stumble, and then we'll just go past him.
Yeah, he didn't say that, but he's pretty close. His best tune we'll get. I know we could talk for a whole day about him, but when he used to call in the plays to me and to the middle linebacker, and I'd be looking at him, and he'd just be going, and I'd be like, What are you trying to say? Like, we had no headphones, we had no earphones back then, nothing, right? And he's talking with Deeker. I think he was telling Deke to do something up in the stands, and he's trying to give me a call on the field. I'm like, okay, guys, just run cover 3. And then remember this, the umbrella.
Oh yeah, love the umbrella. Love the umbrella. Oh, what a beauty. Okay, we'll save the stories for you guys. I don't want to steal them all, but boy, I love that man, and lots of good stories, lots of great memories. So
spot builds, I got to write that.
Spot builds and the bike shorts.
Builds and the bike shorts.
They're legendary, and the young crew, they don't know what spot builds and bike shorts are. No, these are pure 100% polyester. The shorts with the spot builds. They're like wearing orthotic shoes. Yeah. They were the worst shoes I've ever seen.
Well, for his torso, later on in life, he was crushing shoes. He was going through shoes. Remember, he used to go downstairs and grab shoes, everything free, grabbing
everything.
One quick story when he lost his bike shorts because he had them, we always talked about the mesh, right? We had to go. So his stuff came out. He came down. Where is my stuff? He's yelling away. Where is it? They went downstairs. It was scattered everywhere. He had to put on different shorts. Oh, he looked the huggers.
Oh yeah, remember the belly button? Oh, that belly button had that thing was going to explode.
Yeah,
it was going to explode. He was a good man.
And there's lots. And he would love for us to be talking about this right now as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's the way he was. He wouldn't want us to be sitting there in sorrow and talking about all that. But he would want this, and I'm so happy to be proud of it.
I'm going to tune in, buddy. I usually don't care much about what you got going on, but I'll tune in for this one. I think that's going to be a great show.
Okay, good.
So listen, what's going on with you? I'm in beautiful Mexico. You're in St. Catharines. It's cold. We're all dealing with these lockdowns. I've chose to deal with them from a distance, but
Smart.
What's going on? What's the next thing? And you and I, let's maybe tell the listeners about what our plan is here. We're going to keep this thing going, right? Maybe every couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, no one's going to know about this show unless we tweet it out or something because it's been gone we haven't had one for a couple of weeks. So, you know what? For right now, like I said, Michelle, my wife's teaching right now in my office, but of course, the Ontario government shut down schools for a week, and then they're going back on Monday now, which to me makes no sense. They shut down our kids' hockey for 3 weeks. They shut down our men's league for 3 weeks. But I don't know what 3 weeks is going to do. It's to me, bud. Everyone's got their own opinion. COVID, this strain is not killing anybody, but
it's crazy.
It's crazy. I know a bunch of guys that own restaurants, and they're some of them are going to lose their businesses because they have all this food, and then they had to shut down for a couple of weeks, and then they're going to reopen again. Some of them say they're not even going to reopen until like summer because they don't know if they're going to shut it down again. So just very frustrating, and especially here in Ontario. But what's it like where you are?
It's perfect. Doesn't it look so nice? I mean, listen, you're outside. It's beautiful weather. It's 80 something degrees every day. I mean, people are wearing masks inside, but it just, it's just a different vibe, right? You don't have that negativity, that stuff weighing on top of you. So for me, it was a chance to get away. And then I'm not coming back for a bit because I don't want to deal with the border and deal with all the other stuff. I got some work to do at the end of the month for the CBL. But enough of this COVID crap. Let's just kind of get into the meat and potatoes. New ownership group in Hamilton. Yes. A lot of similar names, a lot of familiar names. Jim Lawson, who a lot of people will know, used to be the chairman of the CFL. And I may or may not get this wrong. Either his dad or his grandfather was a Hamilton Wildcat like years ago. Yeah. So it has a long-standing history with the Ticats. Scott Mitchell, who we love. Now it's going to be great. Now beers are going to be on Scott, not just on Bob all the time.
No.
Let's
Scott.
See how many we get now. Yeah. Let's see how many we actually get.
Tickets.
And then of course,
tickets.
Yeah. And of course, Bob Young, who's still maintaining his majority piece. And I'm going to screw up the gentleman's name from Stelco, but having Stelco involved, the real Hamilton, tradition is great. My personal story with Stelco, my grandfather was a general foreman at Stelco forever. Never had no education. Came over from Italy, went there. And the best part about when he worked at Stelco, he worked in the coke ovens, which is like hell on earth. But he used to employ all the Ticats. So I remember him telling me this story about Bob Krause, right? Because at that time, the guys used to work at the steel plants in the winter, and at the summer they played for the Ticats. And my grandfather was in charge of his group, and he used to set the schedule. So he'd go across the line, and all the guys be lined up. It'd be like nights and weekends, nights and weekends, nights and weekends, nights and weekends, and it'd come to Bob Krause days, nights and weekends, nights and weekends. Because he was a huge Ticat fan from the get-go, right? So he's not putting Bob Krause on nights and weekends. Bob's doing the day shift and able to play football, but that's going to be cool, man. It's going to be cool.
I'm looking forward to hear more about it, to see what they have planned, and it's going to be a lot of fun, that's for sure. And with Grey Cup coming back in 23, who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, so by the way, who's watching your house? Your brother Greg?
Oh, this is the problem.
Oh boy,
this is a problem.
Come on,
okay? Who's sleeping in my bed right now? This is a problem. Because I think Greg's taking full advantage of this opportunity, as are probably my buddies who now that's their spot. That's their destination. Hey, we'll see you. We're going to go to Morreale's house, even though he's not even home. So I don't trust him for a second.
No, he's doing something.
Not something good either.
No,
not something good at all.
I'm looking forward to the stories, and when you're back, whenever you're back in a couple of months, that'll be fun.
Hey, the free agency. When you and I played, free agency was like a handful of guys here and there. Now free agency is everybody. Yeah. What do you think this Ticat team's going to look like as we get ready for 2022 season?
Well, they looked a lot different this year than they did the year before, right? So who knows? Like I said, when I think I was offered in 2000 after we won the Grey Cup, Calgary contacted me and offered me a contract. I think we talked about this in the first couple of shows, but and maybe one other team a year later or so, but guys don't stick around. Like we're different, I think, because you played Toronto and it's close to home, and then of course Hamilton majority of your career. So we wanted to be a part of that because we're hometown kids. But a guy coming from the States, I don't blame them sometimes. Like, hey, if this guy's going to offer me, if he's going to get 50, 60 grand more to go somewhere else, that's just the exchange, right? On the US Canadian dollar. So I don't know what it's going to look like. It's tough to say because it changes, every single year it changes, and you don't know what guys' mentality is. They want to stay, they want to go. They always say on the media they want to stay, but who knows? They said, I'm gone. And next thing you know, they're on another team and for the next year. But I don't know. I think they should stick together. They've got a great core, and they were this close, buddy.
Oh man,
this close. So
I've watched that. I've watched that replay because it's played on TSN a few times. Like the recap. I'm like, oh, it's hard to watch. I know we talked about it already, but that's got to be fuel to come back. And 2023 is not that far away, but in football terms, it's an eternity. Year over year, man.
I have so many people asking me, what the heck was he doing taking a knee in the end zone? And I get that question all the time. And for me, I don't know the answer, and I'll ask, maybe Coach O, behind the scenes, but I don't know if he did that from, because he said he was told to take the knee, because he looked like he had 20, 30 yards. He could have at least got out of there, but he went down real quick, like got it and boom, right down on a knee. Yeah. So
the old NFL go down, right? It was take it, go right down.
I kind of think maybe it was the wind was blowing in his face. Maybe they did it for field position. That's kind of my opinion on it, but I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. He did go down pretty quick, though. That was the NFL.
Oh yeah, it's going to take a while to get that out of the system. It's good. But hey, like anything, it's a 60-minute game. A lot of stuff goes on.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeff Reinbold jumping ship to the Alouettes. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't see that coming, but that's, what? Good for Jeff. And I'm curious to see what happens in Hamilton. Who's going to take over that role?
Yeah, who knows? Kyle Walters?
Well, he just re-upped in Winnipeg. Danny Mac re-upped in Winnipeg. Osh re-upped in Winnipeg. They got a bit of a trilogy going there, buddy. They got a good team. They got a good squad.
I'm glad D-Mac, because we were talking during Grey Cup, and he wasn't signed yet. And when we crashed that party, the Winnipeg Board of Directors party, I thought that might have ruined it for him, but it didn't. He ended up getting signed, which is great, because I know he's he's a big part of their organization as well. So and a great group of guys. My God, they're just
absolutely
a great group of guys.
But Danny needs a shot at a GM role. Danny's earned his keep. He's done the scouting. He's done the U.S. scouting. He's been an assistant GM. He needs a shot. He's paid his dues. But Danny's so chill, just like when he played, right? He's not aggressive like that. He'll come to him. That's the way he did things, and that's what we love about him.
This day and age, you got to be vocal.
I know.
Danny Mac, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, but if you're watching this, you need to be more vocal, my friend, and go in there and tell him, hey, I'm Danny Mac, and this is what I've done in this league, and I deserve a shot at a GM job somewhere in this league. He could do it.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of Danny Mac, he's not on the wall of honor, is he?
I think he's got to be next.
He's got to be next. No,
has to be.
But there's so many guys we played with.
I know.
Joe's up there. I can't. I'm losing. Yeah, Joe just went up, right?
Yeah, Joe was before me. Yeah, before me.
Yeah. So that's a given. But man, dude, we're the same. No, Ticats haven't won since we won in '99.
I know. Tired of saying it. The guys that are on that wall now that we played with was Ozzy, Montford, myself. There's 20. I was the 24th guy. I think, right. I was the 24th guy, and there's some beautiful names up there. My gosh. I think that the guys that we played with were, I think it was just Ozzy. Yeah. Ozzy and Montford.
Ozzy?
And Montford.
Yeah. And you.
Montford. Yeah. Just the three of us. So, and it could be everyone else in that 99 team would go up there. Geez, like just so, well, I shouldn't say that, but there's a lot of well-deserved guys that could go up there.
Absolutely. And what do you think? We're going to bring some guests on over the coming weeks?
Yeah, I don't know. I sent you that email a long time ago from a buddy of mine, Scott, who watched our show all the way up to Florida. He drove up with his two daughters, and he drove 24 hours, and he listened to 13 of our episodes. I know. But he came back and he said he loved it all the way up. He listened to it, and he gave us a couple of pointers. We should do this, maybe do that. And I said, well, we don't have a lot of time for that stuff, but. Because we don't plan.
We don't prepare too much. We don't plan. Our plan is not so good.
No, it's not
so good.
Listen,
just before this show, you were sending me, you didn't have the link to get on the show. And then the show started and you didn't know how to work your headphones.
So no, pay attention. I was on Zencast, which is not the Zoom that you're on because you don't have Zencast. And I was on there for 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, where is everybody? And then I finally got on and my microphone doesn't work. This beautiful thing.
Oh, the beast. Oh, wait, I think it works. Talk to that thing.
Hello? No.
Oh, take it away. Now talk.
What?
I don't know. Butko.
Hey, Butko, is it better if I go closer like this, or is it better if I go back here?
Yeah, it's better when you go closer. It's working.
I think it is connected, yeah.
Is it connected, really?
Yes, it's connected. Yeah. Pull it close to your face. Stop reaching over there. What's wrong with you? Oh, my God.
Anyways, hey, we got to talk about a little bit of the NFL. I don't know. You're probably not paying attention too much of it.
I pay attention to the scores and the highlights. That's what I pay attention to.
As you might know, I'm a Raider fan, right? And Sunday night, the Raiders played the Chargers, and it was the best second half, best game I have seen in years.
Can you explain to me and to the listeners what the heck happened that game?
Okay. So here's a quick synopsis. If the Steelers were in, okay, and the Raiders, if the Raiders won, the Raiders were in. If they lost, they were out. The Chargers win, Chargers were in. If they lost, they were out. If they tied, then the Chargers and the Raiders would both be in the playoffs and the Steelers would be out. So these guys, the Steelers played during the day. They're going crazy because they're in. What are the chances of this game going to a tie? Like slim to none. Well, lo and behold, end of the game, it's 32-all, and they go into overtime. And I was going nuts because I've been a Raider fan for a lot of years. So no one called a timeout because I think it was just known from both coaches, just thought, let's let this play out. The Chargers went down. They didn't do anything. The Raiders kind of went down again. And there's like 4 minutes left on the clock. And they just each team let the clock just run out. And the Raiders were, I think, around the 50-yard line at the point. And the clock was like at 38 seconds. And the Chargers called the timeout. And
why?
No idea. I think what they were going to do is, the Raiders would have called a timeout with 1 second and tried like a 62-yard field goal.
Right.
And if they didn't make it, big deal. Both teams are in, right? Because it's ended in a tie. They called a timeout. For some reason, it changed the mentality of the Raiders coach. They said, okay, they ran one play. He ended up getting 8-9 yards on it. They kicked a 47-yarder with 0 seconds to win. Chargers out, Steelers are in. It was awesome. But
wow,
if they didn't call timeout, it would have went right down. They would never have kicked a 65, 66-yard field goal or whatever the heck it was. It was some stupid long field goal.
Yeah, they would
at least tried the field goal from that far, because saying, hey, you can't just down the ball. That doesn't look good in the league for the guys betting and all that through this. So you have to at least try the kick, in my opinion. And oh my God, so the Raiders are in and the Chargers are out just like that. And you should have seen the faces of the players.
And the Steelers are still in, right?
Steelers are in, yeah. And they play Kansas City this week. So, but some really good games this week coming. And my Raiders, they play the Bengals, which is a really, really good team. And the Bills and Pats play. So anyway, it'll be a fun weekend for football. It's the first time in the NFL history that they actually have 2 games on, I think it's 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and a Monday night playoff game.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And the Monday night, I don't even know who the Monday night game is. I think it's the Rams and I don't know, the Rams and the Cardinals. So anyways,
so what was the fallout in San Diego? Was it the coach? Like the coach get destroyed or what? Because I've seen a bunch of stuff over Twitter and all that stuff. People losing their mind. He's a young coach too, right? So I think I didn't see any of it. I think they just kind of played it off that, hey, they didn't have the proper run defense in at the time. Well, hello, you can see them looking back at each other and just letting the clock run out because and it's 40-second time. It's over.
They ran, they just let it go, and it was like you're waiting for one of the teams to call a timeout in case they get the ball back and go down and win. But I think they were saying, let's get a tie out of this, and until they went timeout, game over. So
that's crazy, man.
That's going to be a follow-up because those teams could have went in, and Chargers are a good team. That Herbert quarterback, holy cow.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Kid's something else. I think he's 24, 22.
He's young.
Oh, crazy.
He's young. That's good. Hey, Tim Hortons Field is going to be a little hotbed of action over the next little while. You got the outdoor game coming up. I don't know the date off the top of my head. Then you got the Canada U.S. soccer game. You going to be making it down to any of those things, or now that Scott's in charge, no more tickets for you?
No. He's not even gonna have us on his. We don't even have him on in his contacts and information anymore. He's just gonna cancel us right out. We should have Scott on.
Yes, we should.
He does listen to our show when he's driving Bob around. Is he going to be driving Bob around now? Because he's a big wig now. Maybe Bob's going to be driving him around. You know what? We're going to have Bob.
Matt's going to be driving Bob, Jim, Scott, and everybody else around. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and all the Stelco guys. You know what? That's true. Oh my gosh, that's true. That's going to be funny. That's going to be funny.
It's going to be good times, buddy. It's going to be good times.
Well, we're definitely going to get Scott, and maybe Scott and Matt on, or Bob and Scott at one point, just together or separate. Doesn't matter, because who knows what they're going to say, right? They're going to be, they'll be a lot of fun.
Who's next on your list for the Cats to sign? I mean, guys like Simone. I mean, there's so many. Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down. But, I look at a guy like Simone, who's been there for a long, long time, and has really kind of become the face, right? The guy in the community, on the field, in the locker room. So obviously he's going to be one you want to keep around, the vocal leader, sure. Leader by play.
But you never know. You never know with the way coaches, what they're thinking and what they looked on film all year long. Because you guarantee it, after that season, those coaches are in the film room looking at games and seeing who's running the ball, who's dropping passes, who's fumbling, and writing all this down, because it's all analytics now. Before, what did Suds and the coaching staff? They don't remember. They don't remember what we did. Morreale got a few touchdowns, never fumbled, caught everything. We'll sign him next year. He's good.
We should keep that guy. Yeah, he did something good one of these days.
Yeah, but what a difference. Yeah, just the difference in coaching styles now, like the way the analytics play, like in hockey, and everything now is about percentages. And wow, I don't know if I could play in the game now with all these percentages. My math isn't very good.
No. We all know that. Everything's data now. Everything is, it's like, it used to be you passed the eye test. Remember that? It looks good. You're a chance to play. Now, no. You're just like a number. You're like bits and bytes.
Like Doc Charters, when you blew your knee out, you walk in. He couldn't come to you when you got into the change room, to the locker room after. You had to hobble into his office. He was about, 320, 310, and he says, "Okay, put your leg up on my leg." I'm like, "What?" I had a torn knee. I had to lift it up onto his leg. He did the old test. Now you're good. Here's a couple pills. Got me out of there. That was.
But the best part, Hitch, he used to pull up his Lincoln Town car literally in front, 6 inches from the door, so he could get in. He didn't want to walk more than he had to walk. And when he got, Doc, he was, I may be wrong here, it was either the doctor at the Fasco or at Stelco. So he was there privately. That was he was like the big wig there. Yeah. So he worked at the steel company. He came to us. He was a legend. And then you have to throw, everything had to be thrown up on his lap because he wasn't moving. He was sitting down. Yeah. And then when he gave you the pills, more often than not, they stuck to his hand because they were sweating. After he's felt your leg, your thigh, your foot,
his hair,
flicking. He was flicking pills that stuck to his palm onto your lap to take.
Yeah. It wasn't in the little brown envelope because it was missing that on the floor. Just, you get that, kid. You're good. You'll be fine. Take that pill. You'll be fine. Oh my God. I think that's where we got the expression, tape an aspirin to it and it'll be fine after. Like, you hurt yourself. Just put an aspirin, put some tape on it. It'll sink in and then it'll be fine. Oh my gosh. Oh, classic.
We had some
legends. We had legends.
Oh my gosh. And even Jonesy. Remember Ray Jones?
Oh.
Back in the day, by the time we came around to us, he had already been a long time, trainer, right? Or whoever the hell he was. He was a beauty. The buzzard.
Did I tell you that story about him so I was a bigwig, and I thought I was a bigwig when I was in high school, and we played our games at Ivor Wynne Stadium. So Jonesy taped my ankles. Right. So we had the Ticat trainer taping my ankles when I was in high school. So I went in and he taped it. He taped it like a hockey stick. All the way around. Perfect. Blisters at the end. I'm like, what? Is this supposed to feel like this? I don't even want my ankles taped. And he taped that like a hockey stick. I couldn't believe. That's why I only let Pusky tape my ankles for all the years that he was there and I was there. He's the only guy that taped it. It was awful. He taped it like a hockey stick, just constant. Right,
he probably did it on purpose. He didn't care.
Yeah. No, he doesn't care.
Guys were hurt on the field. By the time he got out there to the field, you're already up and back to the sidelines. The suspenders would fall off. He'd have to fix the suspenders.
Big man.
And then he started, and then again, another legend that passed away. But he used to ride later on in life. He couldn't move around as much. He used to ride in his cart, and he'd damn near run you over on purpose.
Oh, for sure.
If you weren't looking, absolutely. Give you one of these on the way by. These guys are animals.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh.
So is that what we're going to be like when we're older? Because who's going to be those guys? Like, who are going to be the next Morreale and Hitch having a podcast 20 years from now talking about you and I being idiots? Like,
well, I can tell you that you and I aren't going to be Bob Aloe or Vinny Bob
or Side Door Gary.
We won't be those guys, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to kind of do what we do. I don't think so. It's just different day and age. Guys are built differently. They're built differently now, or maybe they have to react different ways when they're in the locker room and stuff. You got to be politically correct now, right? So I think it's a lot different now. But maybe when they get out of the football world, they'll be like us, stupid.
Oh, so stupid. Oh my God, it's so much. Hey, let's bring Butko in here. I need to figure out what's going on in his life. Eh? Look at this guy.
Why do you want to know what's going on in my life?
Oh boy,
any
prees?
Since the end of the football season, I've been doing very little.
Oh, really?
He told me we were talking before you jumped on. He's keeping low profile. He's keeping in the basement. He doesn't want to deal with the Omicron. He just wants to stay nice and perfect. So what do you do all day, David?
Just hang out, sit on the computer, read stuff, try to keep your brain active. It's a shame though. I almost had to quarantine over Christmas. Like I got almost exposed by a friend who took a test, and he said, "Sorry, man, I had to take a test. I'm not feeling well." And I didn't hear until Christmas Eve, the actual night of Christmas Eve. So I was kind of I almost had to quarantine, and then my whole plans changed. I went home, had a bit of fun. Now I'm back here. And then
was it a she?
My friend? No, it was a boy.
Okay.
Hey, what do you got in that cup there, bud?
Coffee.
That's the steamless cup. That's the steamless cup. I was going to
say, who is famous for that?
Urban Bowman.
When we played, Urban Bowman.
Urban Bowman, yeah.
So Urban Bowman was one of our special team coaches, and we found out pretty quickly that his cup of coffee never had steam coming up out of it because it was full of scotch. And if you didn't want to play special teams, there was one really easy way to get out of special teams. You just showed up to his office with a bottle of scotch and you popped it on the table, and your name was crossed off the list.
True story.
So it's not just we just didn't play with animals that were players. We played with animals that were coaches. This is where we learned all this stuff from.
Yeah. The bottle of scotch, man. Even if it was a Mickey, it was fine. Right? Oh yeah. Just a Mickey of scotch. No. Johnny Walker Red.
So you got to understand, Butko, that you see right now Tim Hortons Field, where I know you've been and you've seen your first games, you've seen the Grey Cup, and it's beautiful. And the locker rooms are beautiful, and up in the press box is beautiful. When we played at Ivor Wynne, our front office was connected to the building on 75 Balsam there. We had about 3.5 staff because God knows what they all did. You had to walk through the office, and then Ronnie was smoking 400 butts in the front. Literally, it's like walking into a nightclub because the smoke was coming out. And then we had, one person that did the ticketing that also,
accounting.
did accounting and also did the accommodations and busing. And it was crazy. Now there's 400 people that work for the Ticats, but in our day, there was 4. Honest to God. It was the Morelands.
And connected. Right? And connected right to our locker room, through a little tiny hallway into the special teams room, which was transformed into the training room, and then into we had remember the black curtain that came across. Yeah. So you couldn't go past the curtain until that one coach we don't like.
And then we had coaches that would sleep there. It was, oh my God. What? But we didn't care. It was like we were making chicken soup out of chicken shit. That's basically what was happening.
Yeah.
And then let's not forget the weight room. And then beside the weight room was the merchandise room. And I don't know if you remember, but there was a lot of merchandise that used to get taken out of that room by the city staff that worked there, number one.
Remember the investigation? Somebody from the city crawled through the weight room. There's a little duckway into the room where all the stuff was, all the jackets and everything for us. And it was like pulling teeth to get, unless you're God. You and I trying to get like another sweater or it's cold. We need some long sleeve. Yeah, no, you're not getting it.
No,
the rookies they're short sleeves.
Nothing.
You're not getting anything. And then you remember this, Obi Spanik lived in Smithville, and he lived to this guy about 4 houses down. He walked by one day and he looked, the guy was having a garage sale, all Ticat stuff.
Oh,
Boxes. It was him. Boxes taken from the city. He had sweaters, everything, you name it, everything was in there. Ob went by, go, yeah, that's got my number on it. That's mine. How funny is that?
Same with the beer, right? So before game day, they used to load up all the beer, right? The LCBO truck or the beer store used to back it up and cases and cases and cases of beer. So when no one was looking, we'd just walk out, grab a couple cases, give them the cooler. He'd throw them in the back of the truck. We'd use them for rundown day, or we'd buy them for $20 a case at that time. It was
because we had a deal. We had a deal with the city guy for the beer with Brewers Retail with $20 a case. Remember? And the funny thing was, I think there was like 10 cases delivered, and the coaching staff got 8. We got 2 for 50 guys. We got 2. They got 8.
But unlike today, so we're Hitch and I, the locker room. It was like, it was the high end district. It was myself and Ozzy and Hitch and Andrew, and right beside was the stand up cooler, the Pepsi fridge that was just full of beer. There was nothing else in there. There was no pop. There was no Pepsi. No. It was full from head to toe for beer. And that's the way it was after practice, after games. And guys didn't even want beer. Eric Carter, how many beers did he shovel into his bag?
Never drank any.
No, just took it.
Took it for his family. Oh
my God. That was good, buddy. Yeah. It was, we used to have players, they used to come in on the way in, they'd be smoking a joint or something. They'd put it out on the wall before they open the door, blow the smoke in, just walk right into the locker room.
See all the butt marks on the concrete wall.
Oh man, good days, good times, good times.
Hey, you know what? Guys like I can't mention their names, but the guys who did that, it'd be legal now. They could do that.
Yeah.
Hey,
listen, I've never heard of a guy smokes weed and murders somebody. A guy smokes weed and eats a bag of chips and lays on the couch. That's basically what happens, right? So these guys were ahead of their time.
That's our producer.
That's right. Look at Butko.
Oh, wow.
I love that guy. Listen, this is just a little taste, Butko. We'll do this every so often. I think we're good. I think we're good. This is a good kickoff to 2022. I look forward to what we're doing next. We'll update the fans as we move forward. Hitch, it's good to see you, buddy. I'm not going to see you for a little bit. So when I come back, hopefully I got a nice tan. You and I can go out. Maybe the world will be a normal place. We'll visit Butko in his basement, and times will be good.
I hope you get burnt.
I know you do. I really know
I really
you
do.
mean that.
I do.
know you do. Hey, buddy, this is the Morreale and Hitch Show on the Ticat Audio Network. We will see you soon. Take care.
See you guys.